Most founders think it's enough to run the company, but it's not anymore. Today, if you want your business to grow, you also have to be a creator. And while you're doing both, you still need to show up as a parent. I'm a CEO, I'm a creator, and I'm a dad. 3 full-time jobs, 1 life. It sounds crazy. It is. But it's not because I'm superhuman. It's because my calendar forces me to carry the tension every single day. So here's exactly how my week looks and how I structure my days. My day starts 3:30 a.m. and before I even open my laptop, I lock in my state with something called Triads. It's a Tony Robbins technique where I anchor psychology, focus, and meaning. For me, there's, for example, one that is called Bionic On. Let me show you how that works. This is the Triad. It's called Bionic On, which makes sense because it's 3:30 a.m. in the morning. The goal of this Triad is to be in the here and now, full out. There's 3 elements to it. Physiology. I stand, shoulders wide, shoulders back, chin up, chest out, belly in, arms down, deep breath, deep voice, confident. And I anchor that with pressing my thumb. Then we got focus. This is interesting. Here, I visualize a moment in time where I really was in the here and now, with Bionic On, full out. That for me was a Kundalini session on Ibiza at one of the Mind Valley events where I had this teacher, Dawn was her name. She put me in the here and now connected to Mother Earth and to the energy field. It's like crazy. It sounds crazy, but it was just from another planet. So whenever I think about that, and by anchoring that, I'm like again in that state that I had there. So instead of being in fear of missing out in my head, I all of a sudden come back and I'm calm and I move from unproductive to productive and to be connected. And everything was so nice and so sweet there and so abundant. The world is full of abundance. I just have to connect to the right energy and I have fun and joy together with my friends and peers. So visualizing that and triggering that with the anchor is the key here in focus and belief patterns, right? So it's a reframe amplified with that event to take me from urgency, negative driven mindset to calm, focused, full out here and now. And the third one is meaning and language. So what I do here is it's a recap of my values. And I mean, I don't like affirmations so much, but just becoming real of who I am, why I'm here on this planet and what I stand for. So I'm playful, I'm connected, I'm balanced, I'm warm, I'm a gift, and I'm full of love. So then here's the trick. You can supercharge this in 2 ways. One is future pacing, where I imagine also my life in 6 months, where I'm less driven, even more in the moment, and it just comes more natural to me. That's really cool. And the second thing I do is I do ritual stacking. And with ritual stacking, I can take that, pressing my thumb, I can also stack other triads on it. I have another one where I press my hand. I have the Tony Robbins power move, right? Mine is like, yes, yes. And if you have been to Tony Robbins, you likely have yours. And then I can do 30 push-ups. And all of a sudden that beams me from being sleepy and unproductive and in the weeds to I'm calm, I'm full out, I'm here, and I can crush this. Awesome. So this is what I do, 3:30 to 3:45. I will share it later with you when I start sleeping. Here I do try. That's great. Then 3:45, I ask myself the question, what would I do? Where does this come from? Instead of asking myself, what would Jeff Bezos do, or what would Tony Robbins do, or what would whoever do, I actually can trust myself. And if I ask myself, what would I do? Something important comes up. I do this in the morning because it reveals the most important things I need to change in my life. What would I do to spend more time with my wife? What would I do to spend more quality time with her? Switch better off from work to being present with her. What would I do to achieve that? I could use the Triads whenever I speak with her just before that moment in order to activate me to be present. Awesome, let me try that. So see, I ask myself, what would I do? I already know the answer. It just comes to me. And the same is actually true for you. Just like try it out. You will see that you already know what you need to do. So you need to just trust yourself more. And then you go deeper, deeper, deeper until you have something really exciting. And then you implement it right away. That is 3:45 to 4 a.m. Without anchors, without asking myself, what would I do? Your day will get hijacked by comparisons and by being in the weeds. But with anchors, you own it. Triads are for my state. And the one question, what would I do, is for my direction. And that's how I start every morning. But locking in your state is just one step. The real test is facing the ugliest task before sunrise. So between 4 and 6 a.m., I hit deep work and I start with the task that I fear the most. Every founder has one task that they're procrastinating on right now. It could be an email that decides on millions. It could be a decision that could backfire. It could be a slide deck that you keep postponing. If you ignore it, it will hunt you down eventually. So I kill it before sunrise. And by breakfast, the monster is gone. And I walk into the day already free. So do the ugly thing first and everything after feels light. Let's quickly put that into the calendar. 4 to 6. This is ugly. Let's call it number one task. It's more positive. Okay. At 6 a.m., deep work on the most important, ugliest thing is done. Most people would dive now into emails or Slack messages. I do the opposite. I focus on learning. 1 full hour every day. But as a founder, this feels risky because there's always a voice telling me I should be grinding harder, I should do this email. And I don't have the time to learn, to sit with a book or a course. It feels indulgent, stealing time from the business. But learning is not indulgence, it's leverage. And right now, I do this. Check it. 6 to 6:15. URP. What's URP? It's the ultimate relationship program from Tony Robbins so that I level up the relationship with my wife. Then 6:15 to 6:45, I do currently something called Stage Academy. That helps me with my delivery so that I use less filler words. I use my voice to the fullest extent and my content delivery just gets better. 6:45, I do script writing skills because I just need to become better at this year. Awesome. So this year is learn. Okay, great. My belief is if you only spend time executing, you are kept by who you are today. You will always stay the same. But that 1 hour of learning compounds faster than any extra meeting ever will. So say no to that meeting, rather spend 1 hour on learning. And after I've upgraded my mind, I now focus on my body. 7 a.m., I do something called 7-minute workout. I'm on a multi-year streak on this. I do it every day. Then I do 5 minutes of yoga. I'm on a 2017 I started, what is it now? 2025, 8-year streak. And 2 minutes of meditation. Calm app, 2 minutes, get it done. That is 15 minutes. It's actually not true, it's 14 minutes, but you get it. Oh, you know what? I do 2 more things. Here's the interesting thing. I learned that through years of yoga and years of bodyweight workout. My body tells me as well what it needs. For example, I was really fit, but then I realized if I turn around, all of a sudden I have a pain. Like turning right was not so nice as turning left. So I then just added exercises that improve my turn. So listening to my body here is important. For that reason, I actually added 2 things recently. One is I do 10 pull-ups and I do a little bit of dumbbells, like literally 15 reps. Like I look pretty stacked. I don't go to the gym or anything. It actually works. And what I also do here is I shower. So after I upgraded my mind and my body, the real chaos begins because the kids wake up. I wake them up at 7:30 and that takes easily 30 minutes until they're really awake. And then I prepare breakfast. Or my wife prepares breakfast. So this is kids, wake up, and breaky. But it's a breaky prep. We actually do breakfast at 8 to 8:15. This year's breakfast. And then here I bring them to daycare or kindergarten, kita, as we also call it. Okay, so 3:30 Triads. 3:45, what would I do? 4 to 6, the ugly number one task. 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. learning, Stage Academy to improve my delivery, script writing skills so that this thing becomes less painful for you here. 7 a.m., 7-minute workout, 5-minute yoga, 2-minute meditation, 10 pull-ups, dumbbells, and a shower. So get my body in order. Then at 7:30, waking the kids up, preparing breakfast. At 8 a.m., having breakfast. And then 8:15 to 8:45 daycare. Then here I have some buffer. I can spend that with my wife or finish my breakfast. And then at 9 a.m., my second part of the day starts, which actually goes until 12 p.m. So what do I do between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Well, sometimes I'm not finished with my ugly number one, so it's still ugly number one, or everything that already then is coming next in line. So that is the morning. So let's talk about the afternoon. 12 to 1 p.m. is my lunch break with my wife. Here she cooks or I cook or we cook and then we talk, we connect until I face off again. But sometimes it's really hard because I'm very structured and disciplined. And if she is preparing lunch an hour later and all of a sudden it's 1 or 2 p.m., then and I will tell you in a second what I actually do there, then it's tough and it's just conflicting. So that's not always easy here. So, and then 1 to 3 p.m., I do meetings. 3 to 3:30, I get kids. I get the kids from daycare. And then I have another 4 to 6 for meetings. So all the meetings are in the afternoon. And they're 30-minute max. Otherwise, it's a workshop. I do a couple of 1 hours though, but I try to minimize them as much as possible. 6 to 9:30 p.m. is family break. And in particular, we do pretty intense dinner session. Somewhere between 6, maybe 6:30 to 8 is dinner. And then this here is bath and bed. And then the idea is to sleep by 9:30, which gives me 6 hours. 9:30 to 3:30 a.m. Yep, so this is it, 6 hours of sleep. If I want to get 7 hours of sleep, I could. What I would do is I would try to get to bed earlier. 9 a.m., 6.5 already. 8:30 is then 7 hours. Doesn't happen often. But you know, sometimes it happens actually. I get up at 4. Because what I realized is if I only sleep less than 6 hours because I didn't get to bed early enough because some crazy thing happened in the family, it's really not good to sleep less than 6 hours. I will fuck up my whole next day. I minimum need 6 hours. Better 6:30. 7 would be even better. But 6 is fine. Like I can work with 6. In that case, the trick is is to have here an alarm clock or here, like you get up in the morning, you want to have that to go to bed and to be strict with it. So you need to go to bed here. Otherwise, you're not going to make this happen. One thing is not ideal here is I have great time with the family, but not so much with my wife. And you know what? Actually, I want to show you one more thing. So this is work day. So I have two more types of days. One is the content day, one is the family day. Let me show you what the difference is. I will mark the content day in blue. Here on the content day, I don't do any meetings. So the difference is just here. This is different until 6 p.m. Here. No meetings in that time and more content. I have a full day of content. The idea number one on that day is content. Then in the morning I do content and in the afternoon I do content. It's a content day. So just meetings go, okay? And then I have one more type of day, which is really interesting. It's called the family day. And on the family day, the difference is that I spend the whole day with the family. The only difference there is here, I wake them up at 7:30 and this moves to 8:30 because they usually sleep until 8:30. Yeah, that's the difference. And then this whole time, 8:30 until here, is family time. And what happens then in the morning is that the ID number one gets 1 more hour and everything moves from 6 to 7. Yeah, so I do my learning session from 7 to 8. And then I do the session where I do my bodyweight workouts and I shower from 8 to 8:30. So I get 1 more hour of work and then I spend the rest of time with my family. So let's make the quick calculation what it actually means. Let's take black here. So how much do I work? How much time do I spend with the family? And how much time do I spend on content? I think that's super interesting. Let's do that. On a work day, I have, this is 2, 3, and then 1 to 6. That is 5 hours, right? 5. Interesting. That is 10 hours. 10 hours times 3 days. Okay, let's do this. Let's say work day, content day, family day. And then here I have work, content and family. See, it's a matrix. Okay, so on a work day, apparently I work 10 hours. I do not have a lot of time for content. And family time I have 7:30 to 8:30, not to 9. Say 90 minutes, 1.5 hours for family, 1 hour lunch, and then 6 to 9:30, another 3.5. That is 4, 5, 6. 6 hours. Family, 0. Content day, obviously it's this. This obviously is 3 times, 1 time, and 3 days. On a family day, 4, 2 hours, 3 hours. I mean, arguably the Triads and what would I do is also considered work, but fair enough. I will just cut it out. That is 3 hours of work. And how much family time on that day? It's interesting. That would be 8:30 to 9:30. That is 13 hours. All right, let's do the math. 3 times 30 and 3 times 3 is 39. Okay, so apparently I work 40 hours. That's interesting, more or less 40 hours, because we had the Triads and what would I do in the day planning in the morning. So ballpark full-time content, 10 hours, brings me to 50-ish. And then family, 39, 45, and another 18, 65, 63 hours. Look at that. If I sum these two together, because you can say this is both work, I'm at 50-ish hours and have 63 hours with the family. Isn't that cool? I spend more time with the family than I work. And I'm a CEO, I'm a creator, and I'm a dad and partner. Most people try to copy someone else's calendar, but your calendar has to carry your attention, your life, and your trade-offs. And that's the only way to stay sane. So if you're a founder, creator, or parent juggling just way too much, don't ask what Elon or Jeff would do. Ask what you would do. Build a calendar that reflects your reality and then live it and optimize it. That's how I run a company, create content, and raise kids without losing my mind. As you saw, the mindset and the discipline is really important. Check this video. So in this video, you will learn how to build the right mindset to balance your work, your family, and yourself. Enjoy. See you in the other video.